Sing it, girl.
Get your act together, it will be just fine. I thought you were going to go for it, that part.
Oh, sorry. I was too busy trying not to be molested by Sasha.
Welcome, guys, back to another episode of Lower Your Voice.
Whoop, whoop.
We are on episode 16.
It's crazy.
And we got some good stuff for you today. So
I know. Listen, you showed me today. We're just going to dive right in. We're jumping right in. Megan Fox offering herself up to Spice Girls. I think I'm here for it.
yes. So Megan Fox publicly announced that she would like to join the Spice Girls. And when asked which kind of Spice Girl, she wanted to bring the BDSM Spice Girl to the table.
That's a little weird. Very on brand for her.
So I didn't realize that she had the BDSM vibe going on with Machine Gun Kelly. I mean, I knew they were weird, drinking each other's blood, little
I mean, that's
thorned ring.
the natural next step, I guess.
So he's tying her up and she's stomping him with heels.
I mean,
Okay, now we know what's going on. Well, anyway.
so who else would you see joining the Spice Girls if it wasn't Megan Fox?
I mean, nobody. They're iconic, as they are. What? What's wrong?
I was just making.
Oh. Yeah. As they are, and as they always shall be, the beautiful icons that they are.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can come in and blend with their vibe.
I feel like Megan Fox is just like grasping at straws to stay relevant, because who the fuck just comes out and says that? How weird is that? Now, let's go back to our old kid days. Spice Girls. We always wanted to be one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who did you want to be?
Posh Spice.
Okay.
She never had to do anything and she was hot. Like,
Very true.
She wasn't really like, she didn't have like a singing. She never had like a solo.
Yeah.
And she just sat there and posed. And I love Victoria Beckham.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody really liked Baby Spice. And I was like, I'm not blonde.
Mm-hmm. Never resonated with the blonde.
Yeah, never. Yeah. Sporty Spice. I mean, I was a little tomboy, but I wasn't like wasn't sporty. I wasn't like that tomboy. The other Ginger Spice, too much.
Yeah.
And
then there was Scary Spice.
Scary Spice I liked.
Yeah.
But I was all about Posh.
So for me, loved Posh, loved Sporty. Everyone used to tell me I looked like Scary Spice because I had crazy curls and it would get me upset. So I couldn't like her.
Because everyone said that you had to like her.
Exactly.
I get it. I was Scary Spice in high school. We had like for homecoming, and you have like the decades, whatever you put. You did. It wasn't lip. I guess it was lip sync. It was like a lip syncing thing, and I had to put my hair in.
Sync or sing?
Sync. Lip sync, because you're syncing up with the music.
I always thought it was just lip singing because you're singing with your lips and no voice. This is a real debate. I think we're going to have to put this on the story.
Yeah, I think it's lip sync.
I think it's sing.
No, it's lip sync. Have we ever disagreed?
I think this might be our first time and it's being documented.
It's a lip sync.
Should we Google it right now while on the air?
Yeah.
Lip sync verse lip sync.
It's lip sync.
When you pretend you are singing by synchronizing your lip movements to a recording, you lip sync. Some people mistakenly think the expression is lip sing.
Mistakenly.
All right, I guess you're right. Good thing we didn't bet anything.
I should have.
But it just seems so stupid. What is the point of syncing your lips? Syncing the words with your lips?
Because it's not karaoke.
Singing with your lips.
Because you're not karaoke. It's not karaoke though. You're syncing your lips to whatever somebody else is saying.
Your face is a syncer.
It's okay.
I don't like to be wrong.
I'm right.
Anyway, next topic, because I'm over that. Britney Spears is naked again all over Instagram.
All over.
Very concerned.
She's talking in a British accent. She's naked. She's talking about how wonderful Excedrin PM is.
What are we going to do for her? This
I don't
poor
know.
woman.
Did you hear about Amanda Bynes?
Yes, that she applied to end her conservatorship as well.
Do you think she's going to get as
diamonds on my neck.
diamonds?
I don't know.
Do you think
about
she's
that
going to
one.
get as much support?
No, not even close. Nobody cares about her anymore. Sad, but you know.
I mean, I hope she gets out of it, but I don't think it's going to be as big of a splash.
No, of course not. Nobody could outsplash Britney Spears. She's so big. She was so.
I know. I'm just
crazy famous.
I'm really concerned for her right now.
I know.
Like, and people are like, yes, queen, yes. And I'm like, no.
Do you think
Are
it
you
also
okay?
could be like she was pent up for so long that like she's doing a lot because she finally has her freedom? Or is it just like, no, somebody needs to like unplug the Wi-Fi?
I think it's a combination of both. I think that she's probably stunted.
Yeah.
And
Really fucked her up.
oh my God, I can't imagine.
Like, even if she was all messed up, they made her worse.
Yes.
Nobody made it better. Like, this didn't make it better.
No.
Which is really sad.
No. And I think that and they need to unplug the Wi-Fi. Like it's a combination of both. And like I want her to do well. I'm not like hating on her, but like she does these dancing videos and it's like eyeliner under the eye. It looks like she hasn't slept in days.
The
Like,
short shorts.
the short shorts that are all the way
Spinning
rolled
around.
down, spinning around like
Her tracks are always a mess.
and
The teeth need to get fixed.
the dancing.
The dancing. I know.
Maybe I'm the only one who feels this way.
Now, a lot of people do.
But like let's stop encouraging that behavior and like,
Yeah.
okay, are you okay?
It's so sad.
And she's just like talking in a British accent. And I was like, I don't
didn't
get
see
this.
that one. I'm gonna have to take a peek at it.
Oh yeah, she's straight up British accent. She just posted it a little bit ago.
Well, Brittany, we're here for you, and we want to help you out. We can mentor you. I was crazy at one point in my life. I made really bad choices, and now I make better choices. So you could just follow the Felicia way, and you will get better.
Wear your retainer.
Wear your retainer.
Wear your retainer. All right. So what are you watching right now?
There are lots of things that we're watching. Hot topics right now on Netflix: Love is Blind,
Yep.
finale, and Inventing Anna. So, Love is Blind. Let's get your take on it because you were here when I watched the finale. So you
Yeah.
kind of got my take on it specifically. But I really thought more people were going to get married.
I did too. Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, skip ahead because we're going to talk about it. But at this point,
Everybody's seen it, yeah.
I thought before the final episode, I thought Shane and Natalie.
Mm-hmm.
But then as I was watching it, and like the way he just gaslights her is so upsetting. And he did it in the pods before they met.
Mm-hmm.
He did it after while they were living together. And then he did it apparently with that fight. And then after
Mm-hmm.
when I guess he wasn't running after her, but I don't know why it was just like so upsetting. Like you guys would be so good together if you weren't such a dick.
Right. I mean, you knew I couldn't stand him from the first episode. He just drove me crazy.
Yeah.
He just all over the place. He was way too much. Like he overwhelmed me through a television screen.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that she said no because like I don't know who could deal with that. But at the same time, like I think he had a vision of what he wanted and then she wasn't fitting it exactly. So it created a lot of turmoil in their relationship.
Well, and I think I could relate.
Fishing for compliments constantly. Like that's so weird.
And I think I can relate kind of to Natalie because I'm sarcastic.
Mm-hmm.
Just those jokes of like, do you think I'm pretty? It's like, no. But I could also understand that sometimes it goes a little too far. Like, okay, so when are you going to be genuine? When are you actually going to like, because we do, especially if like that's your love language, if words of affirmation are your love language and all you're hearing are like sarcastic, like, no, you're ugly, put your shirt back on jokes. And I can understand how it could be like, okay, like, do you even really like me? Even though we're watching it and it's obvious that she does.
It's possible that it was edited in a certain fashion to look a certain way, so we'll never know the truth.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we knew that they weren't like... This is my issue with the show in general, which I was kind of saying before. I really think that the pressure of getting married that day and then the embarrassment of having to say no potentially damages relationships that could have possibly made it moving forward. Just the stress coming from somebody who's been married, you know, like had a wedding.
Yeah.
And granted, Jeff and I were together for a very long time. But I know that it's still the same like process of emotions for people. And if anything, it's worse for them, right? Like the buildup, having to plan things for it, getting up there, seeing each other. It's a very stressful and emotional. And then having your whole family there witnessing it. Like, so for someone to say no up there, even if they knew there was a chance of it, like in the situation, it's still a level of like betrayal and embarrassment that it's very difficult to come back from.
The only ones that I could see coming back from is Mallory and Sal.
Yeah.
Because again, they were the only ones that they actually showed like a decent conversation after.
Yeah.
Of like, hey, listen, I know that you're not fully there. I'm not fully there. But like, let me take you out on a date.
Yeah.
And I think that you can come back from it if you both did it with good intentions. And like one wasn't like 100% yes, I'm in. And the other one was like, no, because that's where that imbalance I think would be very difficult because one's going to feel more embarrassed than the other. But I think like Mallory and Sal could actually make it work down the road because they were both like, hey, we're both not there yet, but let's go out on a date.
Yeah.
But I think you have to have the marriage part of it or else the show would like the whole point is to have that pressure and like really figure out, can you go from very beginning to now? It's very quick. I mean, they're only in the pods for like 10 days and then you're proposing.
That's what I'm saying. You're putting pressure on something that is so permanent and damaging to people in a short period of time.
Yeah.
Like if the show followed them for like 2 months, let's say, I think that would be smarter. I think that they'd have more people getting married at the end of it, or you'd see more successful relationships at the end of it. It's too much packed into a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
Could you imagine living on that level of pressure constantly for an entire month like that?
No.
Like it's just insane.
But that's why we you and I were talking like, would you ever actually do this show?
Right. No.
I know you wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't be against going on the show, but because listen, they're not going to bring some like janky hunchback 4 foot nothing. Like everybody that's on this show is somewhat good looking or a version of good looking.
Yeah.
So I don't think that you're going to come up with some like, you know, terror monster and be like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was.
Yeah.
But I think that like the pod part should be longer. I think the living together maybe should be a little bit longer. But I mean, it's a success because everything is so fast. Like in a real world, it's like, that's crazy. But this show is a success because it moves so quickly and there's so much pressure. I also read that it's the second most successful dating show. Like there's more couples that are still together on that show than like Bachelor and Bachelorette and stuff like that. 90 Day Fiance was number 1.
Well, with Bachelor and Bachelorette, it's a little different. I mean, actually, maybe not. Like what happens after the show is over? So with Bachelor and Bachelorette, they take like 9 freaking months to edit it. So then when they choose somebody, they have to like hide so nobody knows who they chose.
Right.
So with this, they're not as known. Nobody knows who they are. So like they can get married and start to live their life and they don't have to hide that they chose each other.
Yes.
Because that gap causes a lot of breakups in dating shows.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're talking about dating shows. Like half these people are not in it really for the dating or the marriage aspect. They're in it for the fame.
And how Shake handled. So then there was Deep T and Shake. Deep T
Yep.
said no. Shake said he was going to be fine because he had reservations at Nobu.
Such a jerk off. Didn't even go after her. Like, you're rude, bro.
No,
You
and he's
are
like, oh, if I would have gone first, if I would have said yes, she would have said yes. Like, no, dude. Like
No.
she'd already decided that she was going to say
She
no.
said no so confidently. So confidently.
He was like trying to convince everybody at the wedding. Like, yeah, like if I would have said yes, she would have said yes. I was hoping that she would be the one to reject me because I know I could handle it and she couldn't.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
buddy.
okay, you're not that great and she's not that sensitive.
Like, he literally thinks he's God's gift to the earth and he's the hottest thing on. Like,
He's not.
Yeah, no, you're not. Like, calm down, Shake.
He is not.
You need to relax, Shake. So that's Love is Blind. The reunion is airing Friday. So
Mhm.
I will be excited to see that and see where they are. And if people are still dating, that will be the time that we learn that.
Yeah, I saw a
Which
little
I'm
sneak
hopeful
peek of
for.
it. I saw a little sneak peek of it.
But let's talk about Inventing Anna.
So interesting, right? Did you
was
like
so
it?
good. I loved it. I loved every second of it.
That's really what she sounds like.
Yeah, I saw that interview also that she like got to visit with her in prison and learn her accent and like take little parts of it because she really was from Russia and then she moved to Germany, so it was like a mixture of both.
Yeah.
She did a great job. And I always love something that's based on a true story, especially when it's like a wild and interesting story.
Yeah.
And it's wild to think that she was really that close to getting that money and like making it come true based on bullshit and lies.
So what do you think about so there was a couple of things that I wanted to get your take on. So her friend Rachel,
Jerk off.
you're like that's complete jerk off.
Yeah, she's a complete jerk off. How do you like? I mean, I get being upset. Oh my God, you owe me this money. I'm going to lose my job. But the second you get your money back, there's like blood on the couch, probably from when the kids were here. I'll have to clean that. The second American Express gave her money back, like she should have calmed down.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, Anna did pay for all the stuff for her
Before that.
exactly. So like, I don't know, Rachel, why don't you try selling some of the stuff that Anna gave you? You know, or like, I don't know, just do a little bit more.
Yeah, I was like kind of conflicted because people were like, you know, she shouldn't have gone on the trip if she wasn't going to be able to afford it.
Right.
And which I get that.
But she was never expected to pay for it when she went on the trip.
Right. But like, if you're telling me like, hey, I want you to go on this trip to Morocco. And I'm like, listen, I don't think I can afford it. Like, don't worry about it. I'm going to take care of it. Then I'm going to go not expecting to have to pay for anything.
Right.
I can't be like, now people were saying that the Morocco trip was her idea and blah, blah, blah. But yes, Anna still said like, okay, yeah, I can, that's a good idea, but I'm going to bring everybody. I'm going to bring the videographer and do all that stuff. So for that one, I was kind of team Rachel on that because I mean, I don't know if she said she couldn't. Obviously this is a drama, whatever. But like if somebody invited me on a trip like that, I wouldn't expect to have to pay.
Right. It's hard for me to relate because I feel like I would have picked up on Anna's bullshit the second the wire.
Yeah.
Oh, do you accept wires? Oh, the wire is not coming through. Oh, okay. They need a new card. Like,
I didn't know that you could pay so many things with a wire.
yeah, that's crazy. Like, it's just so insane. And it blows my mind that they were even able to book these rooms and pay for things before they got there without the money. Like, that's the part that really doesn't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, never in my life have I ever been able to do something without paying first like that.
Right.
Never. It just
And
wouldn't
just staying in a
happen.
hotel room for months at a time.
Yeah, like what? How does that make any goddamn sense? It doesn't make any goddamn sense. But my point is, if I was Rachel and I, see this going on, and then they come and say, oh, there's, no money. I'm not expecting my friend to pay if that's going on. If I'm giving my card, I'm knowing in my heart that I'm committing to this now.
Yeah.
Or I'm calling the police on my friend in that moment, like, she's supposed to be paying. You can call the cops and arrest her.
But that was the whole thing of then Rachel after the fact testifying against Anna and not being a true friend.
But you got her money back already from American Express because of the whole situation.
Well, and that's where that kind of adjusts that I'm not 100% team Rachel.
Yeah.
If you didn't get your money back, I could see selling your story.
Right.
To try to
recoup some funds. Yeah.
Some funds. Don't think maybe you should have done it after, maybe wait a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, she got her money back and then she still testified against Anna, which I don't necessarily disagree with either. She was swindling money out of all of these people all the time. No, at some point, you're in the wrong.
Right.
And she had friends, the girl that worked at the hotel that was just ride or die. And I'm like,
yeah.
I feel at some point you have to take a step back.
I don't know. Well, it'll be interesting to know what all of you guys think. If you haven't watched it, sorry for spoiling it for you. And you should go ahead and watch it because it's amazing.
Well, she did get released from jail.
Yes.
But then she got detained again.
You're just spoiling more.
I know. You didn't know that? She's detained again? Well,
No, I
because
know
she's going to
all
get
that.
deported.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
People should have watched it by now. But in the thing, it didn't say that she was getting deported.
Yes, it did.
In the show?
Yes.
Oh.
At the end, it says what happened to her. And I Googled stuff afterwards.
Maybe I forgot because I Googled so much. Well, let us know what you guys feel about Inventing Anna. It'll be interesting to hear everyone's takes on that. So this past week, we decided we're going to kind of do an advice segment every once in a while.
Bring it back.
And we asked our followers what they needed help on. And so I have 3 here. We might get through all of them. We might not, but we'll at least. Okay. So somebody asked, what should be discussed before you move in with your significant other?
Ooh, that's a good one. Because I will tell you, Jeff and I did not discuss anything before he moved in. So I've learned from a lot of mistakes. First and foremost, what's your stance on marriage? Because if you're moving in together, that means that you're moving towards that, right?
Right.
You're not just moving in to be roommates.
Right.
But if you are moving in just to be roommates, you need to discuss that.
Yep.
So you need to have the theoretical marriage conversation, even if it's not happening anywhere in the near future. And you got to set the ground rules for
What's the goal?
The goal and where you stand with family. Because Jeff didn't want to have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I assumed that he did because he already had one.
Right.
So that was definitely a big shocker and it's something that we had to work on in our relationship. So I would say marriage, kids, maybe parenting techniques, things that you agree with, disagree with, enforcing certain things, making sure your kids eat their vegetables, shit like that. It's all very important stuff.
Yeah. I mean, and I was even thinking there's the cleanliness.
Oh, yes. God, yes.
We're going to talk about that. And then also
Who cleans what?
Yeah. Who cleans what? Basically, yeah. Who's taking care of what chores.
Mm-hmm.
And then, when you're going out, are you planning on still going out with your friends, which is fine, but are you going to be coming home at 2:00 in the morning, 3:00 in the morning?
Keeping you up at night?
Yeah. Is that whole, you're not going to live the bachelorette lifestyle anymore?
Living with somebody's tough.
Yeah.
I do believe that before people get married, they should live together and get to know one another in that aspect and get comfortable with living with one another. because that will make or break a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
How you're able to maneuver those tricky waters.
What side of the bed do you sleep on?
Mm-hmm.
Are you close to the door, away from the door?
Do you like the door shut when you go to sleep, or do you like doors open?
Mm-hmm.
Do you leave dishes in the sink at night?
No.
The cleanliness is a big thing,
Yeah.
for sure. And also like your expectations. Like I think I told you this when Jeff and I got married, he automatically assumed that I was going to have like dinner ready for him every night. Like we've literally been together for 8 years and I've never done that one time. Why in the world would you think?
Why do you think it's going to happen right now?
Like, no, you get home and make me dinner. Thanks. I clean everything. We give and take.
Yeah.
There's a give and take.
You cook, I clean.
Exactly. Great question.
Yeah. But I think you kind of have to sit down and figure out what's important to you, write it all down, and discuss it.
And if you can't have the conversation, like if it's weird or you feel uncomfortable, not a good time to move in with each other.
That actually kind of leads up to one of the other questions that we have. Is something like not wanting kids or religion a reason to break up?
Ooh. So I don't think that the religion thing would be a reason for me to break up unless it was like a religion that I didn't necessarily agree with, or you were like forcing me to do things that like I wasn't comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, although girls don't wear yarmulkes, I don't think I would ever wear a yarmulke.
Yeah.
You know? And I wouldn't also convert if my potential husband was Jewish and wanted me to convert. I wouldn't convert. Like that's up to me. That's my choice. So that's the conversation that you have. So maybe I guess religion could break.
I think so. Like if you have somebody who, like, I know that I could never date like a complete atheist.
Right.
That just wouldn't work. So, you know, I think that having that boundary and like having that discussion, like you're not willing to bend, I'm not going to be willing to bend. Like you have to walk away.
It's funny you say. I'm like the opposite. Like you wouldn't want to be with someone that's completely atheist. I would be okay if somebody didn't believe in anything. I just don't want somebody that's too over the top religious. Does that make sense?
No, I think I think if we're at least in the same area, I think it's okay.
Yeah, as long as they're not like talking smack about your God.
Yeah.
And belittling you for your beliefs.
Right. Like you can do you, I'll do me, whatever. I think that's fine. I think when there's an extreme difference, it happened on, going back to like Love is Blind and stuff like that. As much as we hated Shayna, I kind of agree with her. Like if he's complete atheist and she is from a very religious background and wants to raise her kids that way, that's going to be a huge issue.
Yeah. Even though that was just her excuse.
But in real life, like if you're in the middle of the road, then it's not going to matter.
And the wanting kids part of this question, that is such a big deal if one person wants them and one person doesn't, because you will regret that other person for the rest of your life if you don't get the opportunity to have kids when you want to.
Yeah. And it can't be like, I don't think this question is talking about like, oh, maybe one day, not sure.
Right.
But like, listen, I am not having kids ever. I think, especially if you are somebody that really wants to. If you're somebody that's like, well, I've never really like thought about it, but like if you did, cool. If not.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you about the sit down conversation I had with Jeff?
No.
So it's what like brought us on this journey of getting married. We were out to dinner and I knew it was that time. I sat him down and I said, listen, I love you. I care for you. I'm enjoying everything that's going on in this relationship, but we need to like get on the same page here because I have a 5-year plan and I need to know if you're in or you're out, because for me, these are non-negotiables.
Right.
I want to get married in 5 years from now. Okay. I think that's enough time if we are in this committed relationship to like get to know each other and get to that point. And I want to have kids. So you hold the power right now. I don't want to break up with you, but if these aren't things that you want, respect my time and let me go so I can find somebody that does.
Right.
Are you in or are you out? He was like in disbelief that I had the balls to have this conversation with him. But let me tell you something. When we came back from that trip, He opened up a savings account and started saving up for a ring.
Yeah.
And I think that some guys really need that push anyway. You know, like
There's-
left up to his own accord, we might not have gotten there.
Right. No, but there has to be that conversation. Like, here's what I want.
Right.
Like, what is the point of like hiding and not talking about it and then just
You have to speak your truth.
Yes.
Especially in a relationship. If you can't be your true, authentic self, then you can't, like, you're not being yourself.
Right.
I don't know how else to explain it.
yeah.
That's
Now
not
don't be
right.
Danielle crazy. But yes.
Speaking every blurt that comes out of your head.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that you have to have those conversations and figure out what your non-negotiables are and what maybe you are willing to kind of go back and forth on
Mm-hmm.
and then have those
Yeah.
conversations and figure it out. But if there's something that you're like, I definitely want kids or I never want kids, you can't be with somebody who wants that.
No, you got to have the hard conversations
And
early on.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean it has to be a committal conversation. It's just like, hey, these are things that I need out of life
in the future.
in the future, not
Yeah.
tomorrow, like when the time is right. But are you even open to these things?
Yeah.
And it's just how you word it, you know? Like, guys are so scared of commitment in the beginning, but if you explain to them, like, listen, I'm just trying to gauge like what your thoughts are on these matters, regardless if it's me or not,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Well, those were some great questions, and I really enjoyed feeling like I was providing some knowledge into the world and
I hope
answering
so.
a question and offering advice.
And offering advice. I hope so.
So if you guys have any more in the future, just send us a DM on Instagram and we will happily talk about it on our next episode.
We also have a great announcement.
Big announcements, everyone. Our website is officially launched,
Yep.
and with the website comes merch. We have some really cute shirts and hoodies on loweryourvoicepod.com, and we are super excited to share them with you all. So please go check them out.
Yeah, there's different sizes. We're all inclusive. And in the options that we had available, we are trying to be as all inclusive as possible, range all the sizes as much as we can. But there's pullovers, there's hoodies, there's
hat.
Is the bucket hat still up? Because I think the bucket hat sold out.
Oh, okay. Well, it'll be back soon. It's fine.
We'll bring it back.
Crop sweatshirts, racerback tank tops, tie-dye hoodies. It's a fun time. You guys gotta go check it out. And our website's so cute. We've been working very hard on it.
We've been working really, really hard on it. And so we're going to get everything updated so you guys can visit it. But it's loweryourvoicepod.com. You can kind of learn a little bit more about Alyssa and myself. You could also listen to all the episodes, watch all the episodes that have videos attached to it. Just play around.
Yeah, have a good time. Dance around in there. We should do like an episode where we basically just interview each other because people don't really know about us.
Maybe that's the next one.
Maybe we shall see. But either way, our bios are on there, so you could take a peek at them and learn a little bit about us, and then maybe you can ask some questions. And I think also in the future we'll probably start incorporating some new things, maybe having some guests on the show and things of that nature, just spice it up a little bit. You know,
I've gotten some really good feedback on Jeff being our miniature guest. They were like, hot takes this week. I was like, that's the point.
Exactly. Just spicing it up with them hot takes.
Yeah, so we're going to get some more people involved. It's going to be really fun. Well, that's all for this week. Please be sure to tune in every other Friday for a new episode of Lower Your Voice and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Lower Your Voice Pod.
Make sure you're subscribing for notifications of new episodes, and please don't forget to leave us a review.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
We gonna take it, gonna